this thought I had to share with you immediately. I'm going to call this video The Spirit Soul's Divine Environment. The Spirit Soul's Divine Environment. Your physical body is divine, whether you want to believe this or not. Your physical body is divine. The Spirit Soul's Divine Environment. Before I go on, a few words. The definition of psyche and the definition of environment. Environment. That's how you actually say that word properly. Environment. What's the definition of a psyche? Definition of a psyche is the human soul, mind, or body. The human soul, mind, or body in an environment. An environment. Your surroundings and or your habitat, your conditioning. Your destination, the place or the grounds you stand on, and which give you your abilities to be you. You follow what I'm saying? The order of your grounds. So here's what I'm getting at. So I had this is a pretty sizable explanation. It's going to be a pretty sizable explanation. But I had to share this thought with you as soon as I locked it in. So this is going to be a 70-dimensional thinking mind exercise. A 70-dimensional thinking mind exercise. And it's going to target 4 areas. Or at first, to label and describe it before I go in, it's primarily going to target 2 areas. And the 2 areas are going to be your psyche and your environment. Your psyche and your environment. Remember, the psyche is the human soul, mind, or spirit. And the environment, your conditioning. Where you stand, where any plant or animal is currently in their habitat. Your conditioning, so to speak. You follow me? Your state. Your environment is your state. Moving forward. So, mind, heart, body, environment. Keep those 4 words in mind real quick. Mind, heart, body, environment. Environment. Your psyche environment. Your psyche environment. So your mind, heart, body environment. Because your psyche is your mind, heart, body. And the environment is the conditioning in which your psyche is upon or on top of. You follow what I'm saying? Your psyche, your environment is the conditioning of your psyche, and or where your psyche is headed towards, and or where your psyche is going. You follow what I'm saying? So, mind, heart, body, environment. Now, I have these 12 groups that I have came up with. You follow what I'm saying? These 12 groups that I came up with. And what are they? The first one is called the 12 spiritual combos. The second one is called the 12 soul words. The third one is going to be called the 12 divine activities. And the fourth one is going to be called the 12 environmental purifiers. The 12 environmental purifiers. That's what the fourth one is going to be called. Once again, the 12 spiritual combos, the 12 soul words, the 12 divine activities, and the 12 environmental purifiers. You follow me? I almost just came up with this. Almost essentially just came up with it. But as soon as I locked it in, I just had to share it with you immediately. And all the things that they're going to be targeting thereof. Okay. So, back to the psyche environment. The psyche environment is going to be broken down into 4 areas that all 4 of these 12 groups are going to be targeting individually. The details. So, your psyche holds what you would call your transcendent state. Your psyche also holds your ego, and then your psyche finally holds the somatic. Those are the 3 things your psyche holds alone. The transcendent state will simply be your conscious mind. Your transcendent state will simply be your conscious mind, or your brain, and your mind, your mental faculties. You follow what I'm saying? Where your driver sits and prepares to drive you to the destination. And then your ego is the second one. The ego belongs to the emotional part, the ego emotion. The ego emotional part is the next thing these words are going to be targeting. Your ego emotion in detail. And then the final one, your somatic, your somatic, S-O-M-A-T-I-C, somatic. You follow what I'm saying? These groups of 12 words are going to be targeting your somatic as well. And then finally, the environment in which your psyche, is conditioned by. That's the final thing. So, more details, right? So, in your transcendent state, BKA your conscious mind state, there are 3 areas, or let me say this before I go in. Each, your transcendent state, your egoic state, and your somatic state, they all 3 of these realms, they also too have a mind, heart, body environment. Meaning your transcendent state has a mind, heart, body environment, meaning your egoic emotional state has a mind, heart, body environment, and then your somatic physical body state has a mind, heart, body environment in which it is upon. You follow what I'm saying? Because the environment and the somatic, or the environment and the body, are essentially one and the same thing, just like the spirit and the soul are essentially one and the same thing. So it's almost like you have 2 things we're talking about, once again, not 4. But to have more clearer detail, it's 4 things. Your mind, heart, body, and then the 4th one being the environment in which they are being conditioned by. So moving forward. Next. The details of your mind, heart, body environment. Meaning your transcendent state, the mind. Your transcendent state has 4 areas to target. At their cores, they're going to be labeled and described as the soul star chakra, being the conscious mind of your transcendent state. The crown chakra, being the subconscious mind of your transcendent state. Meaning all of your conscious mind here, all your conscious mind. And then the earth star chakra, being the body of your transcendent state. And then the 4th one, the environment, is where these 3 things and 1 are headed towards. The conditioning in which they are headed towards, if that makes sense to you. It's going to make sense in a moment though. Watch this. So now, you have a mind, heart, body environment in all 4 areas. So that means, once again, you have a mind, heart, body environment in your transcendent state, a mind, heart, body environment of your ego emotional state, a mind, heart, body environment of your somatic physical body state, and a mind, heart, body environment of your environment. If that makes sense to you. So, as I said, in your transcendent state, back to this one now. We're going to focus on the transcendent state. This is the transcendent state focus now. We're going to focus on the transcendent state. The transcendent state at its core holds these 3 things, and as well as the destination in which they are going to as the form in which they are. Remember, all of these forms that I'm getting ready to mention to you, they all move to and throughout you all to manifest into this reality as what they are. You follow what I'm saying? So, your soul star chakra being the conscious mind of your transcendent state, your crown chakra being the subconscious mind of your transcendent state, the earth star chakra being your physical body of the transcendent state, and the direction in which they are going to being the environment of your transcendent state. Details. Like I said earlier, those 4 sets of 12 groups. Now, each of these 4 sets of 12 groups, they're going to be broken off into 3 sets of 4s. 3 sets of 4s that'll target each aspect within your psyche's environment. Meaning the 4 groups of 12 with the 3 broken off will target your transcendent states, soul star, your ego's 3rd eye, and your somatic's solar plexus. You'll get what that means later. So check it out, right? The groups, these 12 hierarchies, the way I have them set up, they're broken off into 3 groups each, meaning all 4 of the 12 hierarchies have 3 sets of 4s within them, and they each have specific titles to their groupings of 4. So, now this is about to make sense to you. The 12 spiritual words, 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12. The 12 spiritual words. The 12 spiritual words have 3 sets of 4. You see, 3 sets of 4 within them. And the 12 spiritual words, the first 4 groups, or the first group name will be titled the 4 hyper spiritual combos. The 4 hyper spiritual combos. It's about to make sense to you. Just give it a second. The 4 hyper spiritual combos, yes? And what are the 4 hyper spiritual combos? First one being my conviction. Second one being our identity. Third one being spiritual reclamation. And the 4th one being soul supremacy. I'm going to change it up to soul supremacy. I'm going to keep it as soul supremacy because at first I was calling it soul sovereignty. And then I was calling it a few other things. But I'm going to keep it as soul supremacy for right now. And I'm going to tell you all later. So, once again, in detail, these are the 4 hyper spiritual combos. And here's how it's going to make sense, right? So, my conviction My firmly held belief and or firmly held opinion is that God will have his world, God will have his people moving God's speed forever. Soul speed, one belief and one foundation, the foundation of love, balanced love, right? That's my conviction. My conviction is going to target and trigger the soul star chakra within your transcendent state's conscious mind. You see what I'm saying? It's going to target and or trigger it in order to drive it to do what it does. My conviction is going to target the soul star chakra within your transcendent state psyche and trigger it. If you can see where I'm going with this now. If not, take it out, check it out. So now the second one within the same group here of the spiritual words, or the spiritual, the 12 spiritual combos. Out of the 12 spiritual combos, the first group, the hyper spiritual combos, the 4 hyper spiritual combos, which are my conviction. And then the second one was our identity. We are both heaven and earth, the 9 ethereal chakra beings and children of the first sun soul. Remember, heaven, the highest above, the high foundation, the highest foundation, and earth is the lowest foundation. 9 ethereal chakra beings, internal powers, and external powers, children of the first sun soul. Who is the first sun soul? A lot of people go by the name of Adam, and a lot of people go by other names as well. But here's the thing. Our identity is going to be what targets the crown chakras set up within your transcendent state's psyche. You follow what I'm saying? Your psyche's transcendent state, meaning just your conscious mind. That's all it is. Just your conscious mind. Regular old conscious mind. That's your transcendent state. The highest state of you, or the one that has the most control of you, is your psyche's conscious mind, transcendent state. Remember, your psyche is what targets the human soul, mind, or body. And right now we're on the mind portion of your psyche, the transcendent state, the highest above, right? And these are the 12 spiritual combos, hyper spiritual combos, that are going to be targeting the transcendent state of your psyche, just in case you lost me. Now, then the third one was spiritual reclamation. The spiritual reclamation is going to be targeting the earth star chakra within this here parable. And the spiritual reclamation, what is it? I'm your king. Meaning the sun will never set upon the Wakandan Empire again. The sun will always be in the spirit's ether, giving us our abilities to see, making things visible. You follow what I'm saying? And now, the fourth one, which is soul supremacy. My soul tribe is going to take over your world. Now, the soul tribes, the soul supremacy line is where the 3 in its one form are headed towards. You follow what I'm saying? I pray that makes sense to you. So once again, the 4 hyper spiritual combos. My conviction, our identity, or my conviction being what targets the soul star chakra. Our identity being what targets the crown chakra. The spiritual reclamation being what targets the earth star chakra. And soul supremacy being those 3 in one form as their destination. Then the next group, this is how I'm going to list it off to you. The next group being what can be labeled and described as the 12 soul words. This also have 3 groups of 4s, with each group having a title. And the title for this one, in the transcendent state, is as follows. It is the 4 destination soul words, or the 4 soul destiny words. That's what you can call them, the 4 destiny soul words, which are as follows: soul speed, soul first, soul theocracy, and soul tribe. You follow what I'm saying? And now, to make it make more sense, just like the last one, the soul speed, soul first, soul theocracy, soul tribe, same order. Soul speed is what targets the soul star chakras triggering. Then you have the soul first, which targets the crown chakra. Soul theocracy, which targets the earth star chakra. And then you have soul tribe, the destination in which those 3 in one are headed towards. And then the next one, I'm gonna make it as quick as possible because it's a big explanation, but it's a necessary one to some degree. You follow me? Next one, you have the 12 divine activities. The 12 divine activities also have 3 sets of 4 broken off, and each of those groups have a title. And the title for the transcendent states of the 12 divine activities is as follows. The 4 final sagas. The 4 final sagas, which are Super Yahusha 4-7, Christ Game Saga, Cosmic Yahusha 6-9, the Soul Game Saga. And then you have Free Yahusha 8-4, which is the Home Liberation Saga. Then you have Establish Yeshua Infinity Home Saga. The Super Yahusha 4-7 is going to be targeting the Soul Star Chakra to trigger it and cause it to move to and throughout you all and manifest within our reality. Cosmic Yahusha 6-9 is going to be targeting the Crown Chakra. Logically, what you feel like, what you logically feel like. It's going to cause that to trigger and manifest to and throughout you all. And then also you have Free Yahusha 8-4, the Home Liberation Saga, which is going to be targeting the Earth Star Chakra. For this parable to make sense to you, if you're gathering it so far, which is going to cause the Earth Star Chakra's information in you to trigger and move through to and throughout you to take care, to make sure that your reality is better for you for all the days of your lives. Remember, I only live for your well-being. But then simultaneously, I only live for the artificial you's destruction. That's why I'm saying these words. Next, then you have the established Yahusha, infinity. That is the destination in which those 3 and 1 are headed towards. And then the final one for the transcendent state. The 12 environmental purifiers. Also 2, once again, just like the first 3, this one also has 3 sets of 4s, and each of the 4 have a title to each one of them. You follow what I'm saying? And what are they? This one might be slightly cringe, but it's just necessary words to be said out loud. The 4-star character's destination. The 4-star character's destination. 4-star character. 4-star, connected with the ethereal, or connected with the sacral chakra's 4-dimensional thinking mind. Summoning the Christ Father in the Spirit's house establishes order upon the soul's grounds. These are going to be 4 specific words to label and describe a destination in which your transcendent psyche is headed towards next. And the 4 words are the cosmic celestial heavenly nirvana. The cosmic celestial heavenly nirvana. So just like the rest of them, that means that the cosmic meaning is going to be targeting the soul star chakra. The celestial meaning is going to be targeting this, the crown chakra. Then you have the heavenly meaning is going to be targeting the earth star chakra, heaven on earth. You see, it all has a purpose behind why I'm saying each word. And then the final one, you have the cosmic celestial heavenly nirvana. Nirvana is the destination which those 3 as one form are headed towards. And that there covers your transcendent states knowledge. Next, ego. Ego, what is it? Ego is the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious. So that means it's the part of the mind that mediates between your transcendent state and your physical body. And it also acts as a reality tester, you see. Ego is the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. Sense of personal identity. Ego. Your ego emotional state. What is an emotion? Emotion is a natural instinctive state of mind deriving from one's mood, circumstances, or relationships with others. That's what the definition says. But I don't believe that's what the definition is, because your natural instinctive state of mind can't possibly derive from anything outside of you at all. Moving forward. So, just like the first part of the explanation, the transcendent state, your ego emotional state. Your ego emotional state is also going to be affected by these 4 12 hierarchies in the 12 spiritual combos. For this one, this group is going to be titled the 4 super spiritual combos. The 4 super spiritual combos. And what are they? Global soul liberation, global child manumission, global moral purification, and global balance reestablishing. So just like the previous one. But before I go on, in your ego emotional state, at its core, it's the following 3 chakras. The 3rd eye chakra, the throat chakra, and the heart chakra. Those 3 are in one form, heading towards a destination. Global soul liberation is going to target the 3rd eye chakra. Global child manumission is going to be targeting the throat chakra to trigger and activate its characteristical traits. And then you have global moral purification, which is going to be targeting the heart chakra to trigger its characteristical traits. And then finally, those 3 all together in one are headed towards global balance reestablishing. You follow what I'm saying? Next one, I'm going to make it quick. The next one would be the 12 soul words, yes? And in the 12 soul words, the second group for this one that targets the ego emotional part will be the 12 durational soul words. Remember, the first one was called the 12 or the 4 destinies, the 4 destined soul words, and these are the 4 durational soul words. And the 4 durational soul words, starting with soul balance. Soul balance will be the first one. I'm gonna rearrange it a little bit because it'll make more sense to put balance first. Soul balance, soul tranquility, soul ethics, and soul pride. Soul balance, soul tranquility, soul ethics, and soul pride. That's the order I'm gonna put it in for this explanation to make more sense. Soul balance, soul tranquility, soul ethics, and soul pride. Just like the last one. Soul balance targets the third eye chakra. Soul tranquility targets the throat chakra. Then you have soul ethics targeting the heart chakra. And then you have soul pride. All 3 of those in one and the destination that they're headed towards. Next one. Out of the 12 divine activities, out of the 12 divine activities, the next 4 group is going to be titled the 4 fundamental forces of human emotion, or the 4 fundamental emotional forces. The 4 fundamental emotional forces, the same thing I've been talking about the whole time. And what are the 4 fundamental emotional forces? Positive emotion, balanced emotion, the force emotion, which is nothing negative bothering it or pushing it. And then you have the quiescent one, or the space in which you are in, or the space in which those 3 in one form will be headed towards. Remember, whatever your psyche is, your environment will become. Whatever your psyche is, your environment will become. Moving forward. So, the positive emotion targets the third eye conscience, the third eye chakra. You see where I'm going? The balance emotion targets the throat chakra, speaking it into existence, speaking a balanced mentality into existence. You follow what I'm saying? And then you have the force. The force itself targets the heart chakra. The force emotion targets the heart chakra. Principle heart of heart sovereignty, you see? And then finally, the space you are in, which those 3 combine into one, and into one form will be headed towards, to establish their dominance within the space. If that makes sense to you. Next one. After the 12 divine activities, bringing awareness to the 4 fundamental forces of human nature, or the 4 fundamental emotional forces. That's what you can call it for this parable, the 4 fundamental emotional forces, you see. Then the next one, you have the 12 environmental purifiers. What's the 4 group for the 12 environmental purifiers in this lane right here? If you remember a while back, I made a video called the 4 spiritual intellectual techniques. I'm going to take one spiritual intellectual technique, and or technically 2, and apply it to this here part of the parable. And they're going to be titled the 3-in-1 language. Or you can title it the 4-bladed tongue. The 4-bladed tongue language. What is that? What do I mean? More specific details. So I have this idea of how I'm going to speak to you all to get you to this destination. I'm going to be using what I could label and describe as root tongue, destruction tongue, king tongue, and common tongue. Those 3 that I mentioned just now are within the one common tongue that I'm using to speak to you now. So in other words, I'm going to be using 3 in 1 language. So 3 specific tongues and 1 common language. 3 specific tongues and 1 common language, if this makes sense to you thus far. And once again, they are root tongue, destruction tongue, king tongue, and common tongue. Root tongue targets the third eye chakra to trigger its mental and moral qualities to activate to and throughout you all. Destruction tongue targets the throat chakra to trigger its mental and moral qualities to move into, to activate to and throughout you all. And then you have king tongue, which will be targeting the heart chakra to trigger its mental and emotional qualities to activate and move to and throughout you all. And then you finally have the common tongue, which those 3 in 1 form will be headed towards. You follow me? And that there completes the information regarding your psyche's heart space, or soul space, or emotional space. You only got one emotion, logically speaking, and it's one of peace, love, unity, and advancement. Maybe these words will build some insight towards that idea being a fruition for you. And now the final one, your body, which is also connected to your environment. And whatever your psyche is, your environment will be simultaneously along with it. Almost as if your body and your environment are one and the same thing as your spirit and your soul are one and the same thing. Or your mind and heart are one and the same thing as you. And your ethical grounds currently are one and the same thing. You follow what I'm saying? So, the 12 spiritual words, the 12 spiritual combos. What are the titles for it? The first group that targets the physical body. But first, the core of the somatic body are these three as well. It'll be the solar plexus chakra, being the conscious mind, the sacral chakra being the subconscious mind, and the root chakra being your physical body. Just like in the previous one, the third eye chakra was the conscious mind of the ego plane. And then the throat chakra was the subconscious mind of the ego plane. And then you had the heart chakra, which is the physical body of the ego plane, or the metaphysical, non-physical body of the ego plane. And then in the first one earlier, your transcendent plane, or your transcendent state, was the soul star chakra, crown chakra, and the earth star chakra. And now for this one, your physical body's plane, or the somatic plane. That's what you can call them, planes, you see. 3 planes that all stand on one environment. 3 planes on one environment, you see. So, the somatic plane consists of the solar plexus chakra, the sacral chakra, and the root chakra. I have 12 hierarchies, in which will target and or affect all of them to trigger them and move them in the right direction. And the information is as follows. So for the 12 spiritual combos, the group of 4 that'll target this one will be simply the 4 base spiritual combos. And what are the 4 base spiritual combos? Peace, love, unity, and advancement. The meaning of peace, the meaning of love, the meaning of unity, and the meaning of progression, or the meaning of advancement, you see. So just like the other ones earlier, peace will be targeting the solar plexus chakra to trigger its mental and moral qualities to move to and throughout you all and through our reality. Love will be targeting the sacral chakra to trigger its mental and moral qualities to and throughout you all into our reality. Unity, big time, will be targeting the root chakra to trigger its mental and moral qualities to move to and throughout you all into our reality. And then finally, those 3 in one form will be headed towards advancement, advanced mentality for all the days of their lives. If this makes sense to you thus far. Next, you got the 12 soul words. What's the group for this one going to be called? The starting soul words, the 4 starter soul words, which will be soul freedom, soul liberation, soul sovereignty, and soul coexistence. Soul freedom, soul liberation, soul sovereignty, and soul coexistence. So just like the rest of them beforehand, soul freedom will be targeting the solar plexus chakra to trigger it. Soul liberation will be targeting the sacral chakra to trigger it. Soul freedom, soul liberation, soul sovereignty. Soul sovereignty will be targeting the root chakra to trigger it in a certain way. And then you have soul freedom, soul liberation, soul sovereignty, soul coexistence. All 3 of those in one, moving towards that one destination of soul coexistence, just like all the rest of them have thus far. If this is making sense to you, my dear family. Next, to hurry up and finish this off, you have the 12 divine activities. Once again, the 12 divine activities. And what's the 4 for the somatic view here, the somatic plane? They are going to be titled the 4-step divine summoning. The 4-step divine summoning. Notice each of the 4 groups have 4 words in their titling. And this one right here is 4-step divine summoning. 4-step divine summoning. And what's the 4-step divine summoning? Reawakening, reincarnation, resurrection, reestablishment. Reawakening, resurrection. Reawakening, reincarnation, resurrection, reestablishment. So that means the reawakening will be targeting the solar plexus chakra. The reincarnation will be targeting the sacral chakra. The resurrection, big time, will be targeting the root chakra. And then you have The reestablishment, all three of those things in one form, heading towards that destination. Heading towards the destination of global balance reestablishing. You follow what I'm saying? Soul supremacy, soul sovereignty. The 12 soul words. This is the reason why I changed that first one to soul supremacy. I meant to mention that because I didn't want to mention soul sovereignty 2 times for this one list here. I wanted to keep the words in a bit of a differentiated factor, since I'm going to be saying spirit soul so many times over and over again. Next. After the 12 divine activities, the somatics 12 or the somatics 4, which are the 4-step divine summoning, which is the reawakening, reincarnation, resurrection, reestablishment. You follow me? Reawakening targeting the solar plexus, reincarnation targeting the sacral, resurrection targeting the root, and the reestablishment is where those 3 in 1 are heading towards. What's the next one? The next one is titled, of course, the 12 environmental purifiers, right? The 12 environmental purifiers. And what's the 4 group for this one here? The 4 group for this one here is going to be titled, this one is going to be titled the 4 psyche purification tasks. The 4 psyche purification tasks. Notice another 4 titles right there. 4 psyche purification tasks. Meaning task is in plural, more than one task. And what are the 4 psyche purification tasks? What are they? Regeneration, replenishment, restoration, and renewal. I might switch the order up for it to make more sense in this here parable as I'm getting ready to tell you. Regeneration, replenishment, restoration, and renewal. So that means regeneration will be targeting the solar plexus. And this is why I wanted to change it up. Regeneration. I'm going to switch it around right now. Instead of regeneration being first, I'm going to say replenishment being first. So it's going to be replenishment, regeneration, restoration, and renewal. Replenishment, regeneration, restoration, and renewal. Reason why I'm switching it up, because the solar plexus has a lot to do with our gut health in the ethereal realm. You follow what I'm saying? So that means replenishment is going to be targeting the solar plexus chakra. Regeneration is going to be targeting the sacral chakra. Restoration is going to be targeting the physical root chakra body and the destination in which they're heading towards. All 3 in together in one form, the renewal. The renewal of oneself. Welcome back, you magnificent individual you. You follow what I'm saying? And this information all together labels and describes the spiritual divine environment. The spirit soul's divine environment. All together in one. To label and describe it even more, it's telling you how your natural divine character is going to hop in the driver's seat of your psyche self and drive you towards the destination of peace, love, unity, and advancement. Peace, respect, balance, and progression. Calmness, serenity, love, and righteousness, and what's good, beautiful, normal, and natural, all in one. This is what this information is telling you. Once again, all of this information that I just told you labels and describes how this Christ Father, essentially, or this Spirit of Yahusha, is going to hop into your spiritual driver's seat and drive you towards a destination in which you were destined to be within. Pray this made sense to you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Take all these words. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.